Most people avoid hard work because it hurts. What they don't understand is this. Pain fades, but regret stays. In a city that never slept, where traffic never stopped and excuses were always ready, lived a man named Evan. The city was crowded, loud, and impatient, yet Evan's life was strangely quiet. He wasn't starving, and he wasn't successful. He existed somewhere in between, comfortable enough to survive, uncomfortable enough to complain. Evan rented a small room in an aging building. The paint on the walls was fading, just like the dreams he once talked about with excitement. He had a job that paid the bills, nothing more. Every month ended the same way: rent paid, food bought, dreams postponed. Evan believed in comfort. Not happiness. Not purpose. Comfort. If something felt difficult, he avoided it. If something demanded sacrifice, he delayed it. He convinced himself that life was supposed to be easy, and if it wasn't, then something must be wrong with the timing. "I'll work hard when life forces me," he used to say. What Evan didn't realize was that life was already listening. Every morning, his alarm rang at the last possible minute. Not early enough to improve, just early enough to survive. He rushed through showers, skipped breakfast, and scrolled endlessly on his phone. He watched strangers succeed through short videos and viral posts. Instead of inspiration, he felt bitterness. "They're just lucky," he whispered to himself. At work, Evan mastered the art of doing just enough. Enough to avoid criticism. Enough to keep his job. Never enough to be noticed. When his manager talked about growth, Evan nodded politely. When new responsibilities were offered, he stayed quiet. Opportunities passed him like trains he never boarded. Evan didn't fail dramatically. There was no big collapse. No rock bottom. That was the danger. Years passed quietly. One birthday blurred into the next. The mirror showed more tired eyes, more hesitation. His friends began to change. Some struggled but learned. Some failed but stood back up. Slowly, painfully, they moved forward. Evan stayed exactly where he was. He blamed everything except himself: bad timing, unfair bosses, difficult circumstances, the economy, the city, the world. Responsibility felt heavier than regret, so he chose regret without realizing it. At night, when the noise of the city finally softened, Evan lay awake staring at the ceiling. Questions he avoided during the day returned at night. What if I had tried? What if I started earlier? What if I'm wasting my life? He silenced those thoughts the same way he silenced his alarm, by delaying them. Tomorrow, he told himself. But tomorrow kept moving. And Evan didn't know it yet. But comfort was slowly stealing everything he could have become. Evan thought staying comfortable was safe. He had no idea that comfort was the most dangerous place to live. Because very soon, your life would stop waiting for him. Life didn't punish Evan immediately. It never does. It simply kept moving. At first, Evan didn't notice the cost of waiting. Days felt ordinary. Weeks felt manageable. But slowly, something invisible began slipping away: urgency. He watched his friends grow in ways he didn't. One learned new skills at night after exhausting workdays. Another failed a business attempt, lost money, and still tried again. They were tired, stressed, uncertain, but alive. Evan stayed untouched by struggle. And untouched by growth. His routine became sacred. Wake up. Work. Scroll. Sleep. Repeat. Whenever discomfort knocked, he ignored it. Whenever fear whispered, he obeyed it. Discipline felt like suffering, and Evan hated suffering. He confused ease with peace. At work, a younger colleague joined the team. Hungry, curious, asking questions. Within months, the colleague was trusted with responsibilities Evan had silently wanted for years. Evan smiled politely while something burned quietly inside him. That night, he told himself, "I could do that too, if I wanted." But wanting without action is just another excuse. Bills increased. Time felt faster. His reflection changed. Lines appeared on his face, but not wisdom. Just exhaustion without achievement. One evening, Evan ran into an old friend from college. The friend talked about his journey, failures, long nights, risks taken. He wasn't rich yet, but his eyes were alive. Focused. Evan nodded and said, "I'm just waiting for the right time." The friend replied gently, "The right time doesn't come. You become it." That sentence followed Evan home. For the first time in years, comfort didn't feel safe. It felt heavy, like a cage he had decorated himself. Still, he didn't act. Instead, he delayed again. Because change hurts. And Evan still believed pain was the enemy. What he didn't understand was that avoiding pain doesn't remove it, it just postpones it with interest. Evan thought waiting was harmless. But something inside him was already breaking. And soon, life would force him to see it. The wake-up call didn't come dramatically. It came quietly. One morning, Evan was laid off. No anger. No shouting. Just a calm meeting and a polite explanation. Budget cuts. Restructuring. Nothing personal. But it felt personal. For the first time, Evan had nowhere to hide. No routine. No paycheck. No excuse to delay growth. Days passed awkwardly. He slept late. Then earlier. He searched for jobs similar to the one he lost, and realized something terrifying. He had nothing new to offer. No extra skills. No growth. No edge. The market had moved forward. He hadn't. Panic crept in. The same work he once took for granted now rejected him. Younger candidates were faster. Sharper. More disciplined. This time, Evan couldn't say tomorrow. This time, tomorrow demanded answers. He tried learning. Tried discipline. But now it felt harder than ever. Because starting late hurts more than starting early. Late nights felt heavier. Progress felt slower. Regret became loud.